Hey kids, welcome to another edition of Love to Hate. I'm Philip Fullman.
And I am Brandon Luna.
Yes, you are.
That's me.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man.
Got a relight there.
Yeah, smoking my old hard-to-get cigar from way back when.
Nice. Those are some of the best.
Those are good. Those can be really tasty sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Get a little bit of age on them. Mm-hmm. Kind of like you and I. A little bit of age, not too old.
Right.
Just like a fine wine.
Like a fine Corinthian leather.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Montalban.
You're welcome.
What are we talking about today?
Well, let's talk about something that I think is a subject that is on the lips of people right now, and that's colleges.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I totally thought we were going a different direction, but that's
did
okay.
you?
Yes. That's all right.
What were we going to talk about?
I thought we were doing the other topic we talked about, but that's okay.
Oh, allergies?
No, the other one.
Introverts?
That's the one.
All right, I want to talk something.
No, that's okay. Let's go with the colleges. Hey, so mark your calendars because now you know what's coming up. No, I totally spaced there. One of it,
okay.
it was probably me.
No, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
This
What
is-
do you guys want to talk?
off
See,
the-
this is why we need real time, so somebody could call and go, no, talk about that one.
Right.
No, I
Have
want to
a
talk
couple
about
issues and
I want
vote
to
on
talk
it.
about commercials with Ricardo Montalban. Yeah, college has come up because cheating. I guess they're calling it a cheating scandal. People are going to jail over this or prison, apparently. Now, granted, with their type of money, I doubt they're going to.
Super duper hardcore prison.
If they go at all, it'd
Right.
be probation or something. And honestly, is that the type of person you throw in prison? I mean, that's something you find somebody for. But yeah, so just people with money bribing colleges to get their kids in.
Yep.
And-
it's a thing.
When you look at it, it's not just. I mean, I have always been of the understanding. It's like, hey, your kid's not that bright. You want him to get that degree. Saying they went to whatever fancy Ivy League college, you make a donation. You just give some money and have a library built in your name or something like that. This is even beyond that because they're giving students fake resumes,
Right.
basically, where they're like photoshopping. There was one. They took pictures of the kid in the pool to make it look like he was on the water polo team,
Right.
just so they could get in. And of course, a couple of celebrities. The one I don't know, the chick who was on Growing Pains or whatever. She's married to Uncle Joey, and then Felicity Huffman, who I really like and was on Sports Night.
Right.
She and William H. Macy, but she was the only one charged. And those are the two names that probably stick out to people. But there's executives from large companies, just a number of wealthy people who have been identified and singled out. I can't say singled out, but who have been found guilty in this. And it was a whole company.
Right.
And what's funny is that once the guy got busted, he completely gave it up. Just like, no, here's my client list. Here's everybody I did it for. Here's the people I bribed. No honor among the thief.
Right.
He sold everybody out. And now there's actually a lawsuit where students are coming back. And you had to know there would be a class action suit where students are coming in saying, hey, I didn't get my spot because you gave it to so-and-so, which is going to be incredibly hard to prove.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's opened up those floodgates.
Yeah, most definitely. So it's Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin who are among the 50 people charged in what's being dubbed the nation's largest college admissions cheating scandal ever. 31 parents, 26 wealthy families. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal. And I mean, that just goes to show you that college is still valued. It's still very important that you have that piece of paper, even though I think that it's not necessarily as important as it was nowadays, or as it was back in the day, I guess.
I yes and no. I think post-secondary education is very important. But yes, does that have to be a bachelor's degree? I don't think it necessarily does.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want to do.
Right.
There are some where, yeah, you've got to go, and you need to be able to show that.
If you can be a doctor, if you can be a lawyer, or something like
but
that.
not
yeah.
everybody is designed to go to college and get that bachelor's degree. You remember that Monty Python skit where everybody was Superman?
Right.
Everybody in town Superman, and then the guy's bike breaks, And he goes and he changes from Superman into bicycle repairman.
Right.
Because somebody had to fix the bike. And that's kind of the same thing. We put that emphasis on, hey, you need to go to college. And it's like, hey, man, when my air conditioner breaks in the summer, who's going to fix it? Because everybody's got a doctorate or a PhD or whatever.
Right.
Nobody knows how to fix my AC. There's got to be a place and a value, I think, more than anything, placed on, hey, it's okay. Go get your HVAC license, man. You're going to make a great living.
Right.
And you have a skill. And we tend to overlook those things.
Yeah, I think trade schools have picked up a lot in recent years. And I don't know that that's something that the schools are recommending as they should. Because, a lot of schools used to have really nice programs for welding, and you had shop class, you had these things, a carpentry class, where you learned these skills, or at least the basis for these skills. So if you decided that was something you wanted to do, you had the basic knowledge, you can go to the next step and do it. And now that curriculum's gone.
Well, I think especially where we live,
yeah,
here in the wealthy suburbs where median income 6 figures, your kid's not going to do that. That's no,
below them.
Exactly. Yeah. But if you get to some of the more rural areas or some of the more urban areas, there probably is more of an emphasis. I know for the longest time, the Dallas Community College still offered HVAC, and I want to say maybe automotive classes, but you couldn't get those in Collin, where we live, Collin County, for the longest time. And I think now they're starting to expand that, but for the longest time it was nursing and computer classes and some of the STEM classes,
right?
Which are great fields to go into, but not everybody's cut out to do that. And it's a shame when you have a student who has an aptitude for something like that, and yet the consensus around them or the feeling around them is, there's no value to what I do because I would wear a blue collar, and
right.
That's unfortunate.
It is, and I mean it's coming to the private sector really to offer those type of things. So I had Arizona in my territory with the last job that I had, and one of the things I saw over there when I was just in a breakfast at a hotel, sitting there watching the morning shows that are obnoxious, they had this one guy on there who owned factory store outlet for furniture. He built all his own furniture, and his family's in the business for generations. And he actually offers that to the school as like a scholarship to say, hey, if you want to do this, put in for it. He actually provides the classes for the school on his cost, so that people have the option to learn this stuff because he thinks it's important. And our school system doesn't really value trade work anymore like it used to. I mean, you remember back when you were a kid, you did the test and they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And automatically it was like, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman, I want to, there was always the more of a trade school type thing versus I want to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, it encompassed everybody. So we could sit there and say, hey, you should gravitate towards these areas.
Right.
Oddly enough, mine was like, don't give him anything sharp. don't give him anything that requires fixing stuff. Oddly enough, bullshit aside, mine leaned towards you need to go into something with communicating. You need to go into something that involves language. There's math, don't put him towards
that was me too. I'm not a math guy, so yeah, I get that.
We're more of the humanities major with the creative side.
Right.
And unfortunately, unless we get a huge sponsor for this show, or you go to Hollywood and you become a screenwriter or an actor,
right?
There's not a lot of places people with those creative ideas can go and make a decent living.
Yeah, maybe marketing somewhere in there.
It is, and I think there's a value to still having a communications degree.
Right.
You may not go into communications as you see it, maybe not public relations or advertising, which are fields I would love.
Right.
But there's this lack in business of people being able to communicate clearly and communicate their ideas. And when you get somebody who has a communications major, they're the one person who you can understand. Because they can communicate the idea, whereas somebody who's like, no, I understand this. I understand how it works, but they have no ability to explain that to somebody, and that's critical. So I think there's a value to that.
Right.
Just not enough people recognize it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I think that the millennials, we give them a lot of crap for a lot of the stuff they do, but I think they understand that that's out there. They understand that there's value in trade schools, and a lot of them are moving towards those type of things like woodworking, and because they see it as like this artisan thing to do.
Sure.
Like, oh, it's this cool thing that makes me different. And that's great that they're finding that they're understanding that they can come out of high school, go into a trade school, get out in a couple of years, and have an income that's in line with people who do a 4-year school. Now, there's going to be a point of, where that's going to pass. There's going to be a surpass.
Right.
The guy that went to college, that got his degree, maybe went back for his doctorate or whatever, is going to make more money than you. But how much happier is that person than you?
Oh, absolutely. I don't remember what the study was. I think it wasn't a lot. Maybe, I want to say it wasn't much over 100,000. That really there's no more happiness that comes from earning 100,000 than 200,000. You're not any happier when you make $1 million a year versus when you make 200 a year.
Right.
What it buys you is the ability to not have to worry. And that's the thing, money, people are right. Money does not buy you happiness. What money does is it takes care of those bottom two levels of Maslow's pyramid, which are food, clothing, and shelter.
Right.
And once you can sweep those off the table and say, those are going to be covered, I don't have to worry about those, you can start working on those top three levels of the pyramid where it's improving yourself, becoming a better person, and giving back. Because guys like you and I, we're worried about the food, clothing, and shelter and still trying to squeeze in some self-fulfillment.
Right.
And by sweeping those other two away, it's like, oh man, now I can just focus on this. Sadly, I don't think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
I think they get those multi-millions of dollars. They own a successful football team that's won multiple Super Bowls, and they're going to massage parlors and strip malls.
Right.
Which is sad. So they're not giving back necessarily. And that's another place where I think millennials see things we don't. They put an emphasis on giving back. Now, a lot of times it's misguided.
Right.
But at the same time, I give them credit for that.
Yeah. They've definitely bought more into that aspect of humanity, I think, than our generation did.
Sure.
Because you're coming out of the 80s with the me thing.
Exactly.
The 90s with the maybe everybody. And then, the 2000s is the kind of fuck you guys, whatever. And it's become more of a, hey, we need to save the world a little bit and, maybe do some things that are nice for other people. And I love that movement's coming back. It's a little hippie-ish,
do too.
But it's in a good way.
And it's one of those things that you can sit there and say, hey, that's great. Of course, there comes a time when, as you're older, you look at it, it's like, no, that's a great idea. How are you going to pay for it? Like, well, we don't know. Like, well, see, now there's the issue.
Right.
It's kind of like free school for everybody. I love the idea that anybody could get a free college education. I think it's fantastic. I think that's something that would be great if you could offer it to someone. The problem becomes, okay, how do you pay for this free education? Where is this money going to come from?
Right.
And that's where the issue lies. Because college has gotten astronomically expensive, just incredibly, obscenely over the top expensive.
It has. And I've got a list of the most expensive colleges. So that's the amusement park list. That's the wrong list.
Please tell me there's a Dells College.
There is a Dells College. No, there's
nice.
not.
Oh,
Number one, this is 2017-2018, so this is pretty accurate. Columbia University. Number 2 is Vassar. Number 3 is Harvey Mudd College.
Is it showing the amounts?
Not in this list, no.
Okay.
I mean, I can probably open it up, but then I got to
then it just stuff. You got to get the ads and stuff.
Yeah, Columbia's tuition is $54,504 a semester.
So you're talking, what is that, $180,000 per year?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Vassar is 54 as well. Harvey Mudd College is 54, so it's all in the 54 range. Franklin and Marshall College, which is right next to Dells,
nice.
54. Reed College. By the way, Dells is a water park, a theme park.
From one of our previous shows.
Anyway,
our listeners, they have this stuff. They remember.
Okay. Reed College is in the 53 range. Duke University, 53. Bucknell University in Pennsylvania, Bucknell, 53. Colgate University, the Tooth University, 54. I don't think that's what it is.
Probably not, but I bet you it was named
after the Colgate guy, maybe.
Family.
Amherst is 53. University of Southern California is 53 as well. University of Chicago, 53. Williams. They're all kind of in that 53 range.
53, 54.
Yeah, Bennington College. It's all 53. Tufts, Tulane. Cornell. Yeah, the list goes on and
USC is where Lori Loughlin's daughter got in,
on.
I believe. So apparently residuals from whatever that show with Uncle Jesse was, not enough to pay $53,000 a semester.
I guess not.
Oh, didn't she marry some douchey designer guy?
You got me, man.
Massimo, whatever that guy's name
Oh, yeah?
was. The
She
guy who
married
had
that
all
guy?
that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her husband.
Interesting.
So apparently between the ABC sitcom and selling your clothes in Target, it's not enough to pay your daughter or pay her tuition to USC at $53,000 per semester. Plus, if your kid skates in like that, if that's how you get your kid in, how much are they really going to put an emphasis on their education? Or are they there to screw around? Okay, so somebody else did your ACT and SAT. Who's going to do your test for you and get you through the classes? So you come out with an education that really means nothing, that you're never going to use, because her daughter was already making money. She had a cosmetics company that she was a spokesperson for.
Right.
Making money off of Instagram, which you and I got to really figure out a way to tap into that.
Yeah, we do.
So really, does she really even give a damn about going to USC? And how many kids really wanted to go that got
don't
bumped
get to
out?
them.
Yeah,
Right, because of her. Yeah.
sure.
Which is bullshit. But
And I remember one of the things they said was, well, we want to point out we didn't give away any athletic scholarships that could have gone to real athletes that could have gotten a free education. This was we just brought them in as athletes to get them here, but we didn't pay for anything.
Right. Yeah.
So-
Still shisty. So here's a list of the top trade schools from 2018.
All right.
Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics is a private nonprofit school, and the median mid-career salary to start is $70,000, and the average price is $25,000 a semester. So cheaper.
Yeah,
For
still
sure.
expensive, but
Yeah.
but that's a skill set.
Right. North Central Kansas Technical. North Kansas Central Technical College. And that one is
That's
also...
NCTC. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
up in KC-Mo, I think.
That's in the 11,000 range. State Technical College of Missouri is in the 7,000 range with the average income of $58K.
That's a good starting income, man.
Right.
Coming out of college,
Yeah, it is.
and you can only go up.
Exactly. Lake Area Technical Institute is at 56 for the median starting salary at $11,000 a semester. Lancaster County Career and Technology Center, average price on that is $9,000. So you're getting lower and lower here. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of these, health sciences, technical college, all these things you can do in a much faster time frame. Usually they're 2 years to 3 years.
Because you're not having to do all the basics and the core work that the state lines up and says, okay, this is basically your first 2 years, then you're going to start specializing in your major.
Right. And if you play your cards right, getting out of this making $50K, you only owe about that much,
Right.
and you'll pay this off a hell of a lot faster than you will $100,000.
And a lot of those, when you're doing the technical school, I mean, there's always the fly-by-night place like the Dells probably.
Right.
But nursing schools, go in like, hey, I was a nurse in like 3 weeks or whatever. Most of those, not so good. In my experience from working at the college, is those aren't the greatest of nursing schools. And because really what happens is people think, well, I went to the nursing school, I graduate, now I'm a nurse.
Right.
No, you're not.
Right.
You've got your degree in nursing. Now you have to go take your state boards. And what most often happens is you're not prepared well enough or know enough to pass the state boards.
Right.
Locally, Colin has a great nursing program. And it used to be that you could come out with your applied science degree in nursing, take the state boards, and you were ready to hire. But now, because they just keep raising the bar, you have to have that bachelor's and your RN
Right.
for hospitals to look at you. So,
Yeah.
which, I mean, if you can pass the state board, I would think that should be the Rosetta Stone of saying, hey, we can hire this person.
Right.
But everybody keeps... The bachelor's is basically the new high school diploma.
It is the new high school diploma, yeah. And it's sad to say that because you got to do 4 extra years and get in debt, basically,
You really do.
for people to look at you. But the way that we hire nowadays, it's different than it was in the 70s and the 80s and stuff, and the 90s for that matter, too. It's, back then you made your resume as good as you could. You turned it in person. You talked to someone.
Mm-hmm.
You wowed them with your personality or whatever, or your story. You got the interview. You were face-to-face on the interview. You had a good chance at the job if you really knew how to sell yourself. And you had the experience that they wanted, or they saw something in you. Now there's no such thing as that. Now you turn it in online.
Right.
Someone will call you about something. You'll have a couple of phone interviews before you ever meet anybody.
If you don't click that box that says bachelor's,
yeah,
it doesn't get to the hiring director.
You're out. Exactly. Most of the time you're out.
They don't have time to look at it.
They don't. Yeah.
So it never even makes it to their desk.
Yeah, and you can't go knock on doors like you used to get a job. It doesn't happen nowadays.
No.
Unless you're working for some mom and pop, donut shop or something. I mean,
right.
That's about the extent of what you'll get.
Cigar shop.
Yeah, with knocking on doors.
Yeah.
So you want a job that's going to give you a living wage, you pretty much have to have a college degree or some sort of trade. I mean, that's really where you have to be.
And I think millennial, and again, as much as we knock them, I think they're trying to be more entrepreneurial.
Yeah, definitely.
And even the guys who are like, hey, I'm doing this on YouTube, I'm doing this on Instagram. They're trying to find a way to monetize what they do.
Right.
And people are starting to pay them for it. And they're saying, hey, this is something I could do and make money. And then they turn around and invest it in something else. And that really wasn't our mindset when we were growing. It was like, you got to go do this. And then you work at this same job for, 30 years, retire,
right,
pension, whatever. Kids don't think like that now. What is it? 4 years, I think, is the average time of employment.
Right.
Before somebody changes job. Not because they were fired, but simply because they found something better. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I've been at this job 4 years. I didn't get promoted. Maybe I want better benefits. Oh, look over here.
Right.
I'm like, okay, because somebody always needs somebody in that IT department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like X-ray tech you
sure.
can do that's a lot, more expensive to get a degree in or a cert, whatever you call it, certificate, I guess.
Yeah.
Dental hygiene, stuff like that, being a dental assistant.
Oh, trust me, dentists make a ton of money.
Exactly. Being a dental, you don't go to school for 2 years for that, I don't think. Do you?
For dental hygiene, I think at Colin it was an associate of applied science you could do. Mm-hmm. So maybe it worked out to about 2 years worth. But you weren't taking any of the basics. You weren't having to do history. It was more math, science related. But yeah, that's not a 4-year degree.
Yeah, about 2 years.
Now, obviously, being an orthodontist or something like that, that's going to require more schooling.
Right. Dental hygienist, median annual pay for a dental hygienist is $68,000.
What?
$32 an hour for a 2-year degree. So yeah, that's a nice wage. That's a nice living wage.
If I didn't mind putting my hands in people's mouth, that wouldn't be a bad way to go. It's disgusting, but yeah, because I'm about to pay my dentist a ton of money, and it's like, holy crap. That is
that's good. That's good money for most people.
Man,
I think.
Because I think back to the people we had go through our dental hygiene program. Mm-hmm. 20, maybe.
Right.
19, 20. Pretty fresh out of high school, and you come out and you're making $68K.
Yeah, X-ray tech, 2 years on average for school. Average salary there as an X-ray tech is $53,000.
What?
Median salary is $50,000.
I need to go back and be an X-ray tech.
Again, 2 years school. You get out, you're making a good amount of money. You get to see people's insides. How cool is that? And you don't have to work for TSA. That's pretty badass.
Maybe I should go be an X-ray tech.
There's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff out there that I think people overlook for following in someone's footsteps. And that's definitely something that we still do as a society, I think. I think the millennials are moving a little more away from that. Mm-hmm. Like they don't want to be the corporate tool that their dad was or whatever. Right. And they want to do their own thing. So those are the guys that are making, reclaimed furniture and stuff like that.
Sure.
But I applaud those guys because they're like you said, they're finding something that they're passionate about. They're doing something already and finding a way to monetize it.
Right.
And that wasn't our mindset growing up. That's not how we were. That's not how we were taught.
No. Oh, we were definitely not taught that. Like I said, my dad, and this blew my mind because you know your parents, your parents have done stuff, but you never really, once you start putting a timeline, you delve into it. When he got out of the Navy, he worked in a copper mine in New Mexico. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he went to White Sands and he worked at the missile range for 30-some years.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, he worked at the copper mine for 20. I'm like, what? What do you mean he worked at the copper mine for 20? But that means But no, but he worked at White Sands for 30, and you start doing the math. You're like, wait, he worked that long? It's like, wait, he did that type of labor for 20 years, then when did it at another place for another 35?
Right.
Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm far too lazy to do that. And that was hard.
That's hard
That
labor.
was hard manual labor. But
Yeah.
he retired at 73, and not because he wanted to, because he had injured himself. And was just like, okay, I'm not going to be able to keep up with it. But he wanted to retire at 75. He thought that was a nice age to say, hey, I worked until I was 75. But just thinking about, wow, no wonder Dad didn't understand me when I was like, no, Dad, if you lose this one job, then you meet with a headhunter, and then you take some interviews, and then you wait to hear a call back, and then you're going to get this. My dad was like, no, you're out of a job. Go get a job. No, go down there. Go tell them you want a job. They'll give you a job. It's like, Dad, it doesn't work that way. That's not what I do. I wear a tie. Your
Right.
dog's got a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a rabbit?
They work for free. Well, for
Yeah.
kibble.
No, my dog don't do shit. Lazy.
How much do you think a roughneck makes on average? Someone that just works on an oil rig. It's like
I
not
like the
even-
way you say just works
know.
on an
Well,
oil rig. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone
Yeah,
that
no.
works on
I
an
got
oil
you.
rig.
250,000.
I sound like an asshole just saying that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just under 100,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I overshot.
Average median.
Now, is that out in the
average
Gulf,
median's 99.
or is that on land?
That doesn't really say.
Because I think if you're on a rig,
It's probably more if you're a rigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're working on a rig. How much does an oil field worker make an hour? 16, 34 average. Lower than I expected. 24.
yeah.
51 a year. Yeah. So highest paying job in the oil industry is a petroleum engineer. Obviously, that's going to require some schooling, and that's 111,000 a year.
I think one of my bosses does that, actually.
Geologist makes about 89. Rotary drill and gas operators make 98. So, yeah, 98 for the rotary drill. Petroleum pump systems engineer makes 78. So, yeah, there's a lot of money in that.
And those are guys who earn that money.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're actually out there
these are,
doing
and
the work.
you can lose a digit or two.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Or get caught in something like in the movies and blow up.
Yeah.
You never know,
Yeah, I saw Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things out there that I think, and I've seen even studies on this, that we're not doing. There's not enough people doing these jobs because they're so focused on going and getting that college degree,
Well, because, again, they're following in the parents' footsteps, and that's, this is what you're going to do. I talked to a student at the college, and she wanted to go into nursing. Her dad's like, no, you go into nursing. Dad wasn't in the medical field, but just, hey, that's a good career. Look at the income. And as you talk to her, she wasn't happy in nursing. And when you looked at her grades, not bad grades, it wasn't like she was a horrible student in it, but just when you go into nursing, you have to have, I mean, you're talking about, okay, this person made a 99.9, this person made a 99.8. 99.8 is not going to cut it. So she was making decent grades, but not good enough for nursing. And she had no interest in nursing. She really didn't like math. And I asked her, what do you want to do? She said, I want to be a teacher. Like, so why not look at going into teaching? My dad said no. It's like, teaching's an honorable profession. Okay, so you're not going to make the same money you make as a nurse, but you can provide for yourself. Mm-hmm. You'll make a decent living, and you're going to be doing something that makes you happy.
Right.
I do think teachers are underpaid for what they do, especially when you compare it to.
Absolutely.
And this is another topic we can have for another time. But when you compare it to an athlete who goes out and plays 16 games a year and makes multiple millions of dollars for
Right.
playing a sport, and here's somebody you entrust with your kid's education, and you're paying them less than six figures, there's something wrong with society there. Now, I get it. It's all about income generation or revenue generation, and football generates a lot more revenue. But where's your priority?
Right.
And we definitely have skewed priorities when it comes to stuff like that.
For sure. So here's a list of the best jobs for trade school graduates.
All right.
And this is a brand new list here. And this is pretty cool. And this job right here sounds like a job that you probably wanted to do as a kid but then kind of forgot about. Elevator installer repairer is number 1.
Wow.
How cool would that be to be the guy that fixes and installs elevators?
Man, you got to be good.
You got to be good.
Because I got to trust when I'm getting on that elevator
Mm-hmm.
and somebody just came in and they just ate at the Chinese buffet
Right, right.
that they're not going to break that cable.
Yep. That's the same guy that does the moving walkways and the lifts and stuff. So, I mean, it's, you're going to be probably working on escalators too. Average median salary is $77,000 for that.
Wow.
With a projected growth rate from 2016 to 2026 of 12%.
Wow.
So that's not bad.
No.
Number 2, radiation therapist.
Yeah.
Average income $69,000 with 13% growth up until 2026. And you just need an associate's degree with this. These are 2-year colleges. Geological and petroleum technician is $61,000 with 16% growth. You need an associate's degree for that. Web developer, still on the high list. Web developer is number 4, and that's at $58,000. And again, these are the starting or average.
And when you think about a web developer, this is also somebody who has the ability to go out and make their own thing
right,
and sell it to somebody
exactly, yeah,
and then buy the Dallas Mavericks.
that is totally true. Yeah. If you're going to be the guy that does the thing, that's the next big thing. Yeah.
That's true.
Number 5, diagnostic medical sonographer. Yeah,
Yeah.
do the sonograms. 55,000 average for that. 17% growth over the next few years. Dental hygienist, we talked about already. 54,000 average. 20% growth in that. 97% female, 3% male breakdown. So there's definitely a need for male dental hygienists. I would say
but you know what? And again, I guess the majority of the time you would think,
misogynistic asshole. You were
I'm
going to
about
say
to be.
something.
I am. I'm about to say something. It's a compliment. No, but I mean, it's weird because when I think about it, the majority of ads, because where we live, everybody's got fake teeth or super nice teeth, and there's ads everywhere. You can't.
Yeah, it's like we live in
sling
Britain.
anything.
Britain with money.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's pretty much it. I mean, there's dentists on every freaking corner here. Majority of them male,
Right.
but the hygienist, like you said,
Always
majority
female.
female.
Yeah.
I have to go to smaller hands.
Yeah, that's definitely part of
Easier.
it.
I mean, if I got a guy with big sausage fingers, he's not going to be able to root around in my mouth.
Yeah. Like
But-
ex-jockey. That'd be a good job for an ex-jockey.
Oh, that would.
Yeah, he'd have to have a stool, probably, to stand on to get in the mouths. But still, yeah, ex-jockey.
The tooth.
Number 7, electrician. You talked about that. 52 is the average there. 9%.
I'm going to say you got to have delicate hands to do that.
Electrician?
You really do, because
Yeah.
there's a guy who's changed out some light switches. Man, when you're trying to wrap a cord around that new outlet and get it on there, fat fingers, that's not your friend.
True. Respiratory therapist. Respiratory therapist is number 8.
Yeah.
52,000. 23% growth over the next.
Is that a 2-year also?
That's a 2-year also.
Man.
Yep.
Wonder if I'm aged out of most of these.
63% female, 37% male on that. Plumber. We could definitely both do plumber.
Oh, yeah.
I've got the crack for plumber. I could do plumber.
I'm pretty good with some plumbing. I'll be honest.
I suck at plumbing.
Oh, dude, I'm actually pretty good at it.
$50,000 a year on that. 16% growth over the next couple of years.
God, I've been doing it for
2026.
free.
1% female, 99% male.
Yeah.
Wow.
That 1% was the one in Mr. Mom.
Right. Right. Here's the HVAC technician. That's number 10. 44,000, 15% growth over the next number of years through 2026. 1% female again, 99% male on the HVAC.
HVAC is huge.
Yeah.
You know what I wouldn't like about the plumbing?
Shit.
You also yeah, there is that. You also are the guy in charge of gas.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to mess with that stuff.
Yeah, you can blow yourself up with that shit.
Yeah, I'm yeah. So right there, clogged line, something like that. I'm good. Fixing pipes, I can do that. Install new shower heads, whatever. I'm good. Not messing with a gas line.
Yeah. I mean,
Stuff's dodgy.
when you look at it, if you're going for, let's say, a business degree, right, which
Right.
most people do, right? They'll
Sure.
major in business, minor in something that they actually like. Now, that's what
Exactly.
most people do. You get a business degree, you're looking at, let's say you go to UT, probably couple hundred thousand in debt when you get out of there, right? Versus if you had a hankering for making some shelves and stuff, if you really, really liked doing that as a kid with your dad in the garage, why not pursue that? Why not, if you're especially if you have a talent for it?
Right.
And I think there is something to be said for being in a trade and having a talent for it. I think there's more talent involved in trade school
Oh, absolutely.
than there is in, corporate America.
Yeah, no, it's a skill set. It's It's a different type. It's being able to take. It's being able to see something and create it with your hands, or see a problem and fix it with your hands. Whereas in business, it's more of a hypothetical problem
Right.
that you have to solve with your brain, as opposed to your brain and your hands.
Right.
So that I think is where the difference is. It's basically you don't want to get your hands dirty.
Right.
And part of that, and I agree with you, because I think if you look at anybody who makes you an actual cabinet, it's a beautiful thing. That is not going anyplace.
Right.
But the majority of stuff we own is particle board.
Yeah, it's all crap from IKEA.
That's the majority of what my stuff is.
Or the like over in Nebraska. I haven't been to Nebraska, so I can't
Yeah,
really speak
no.
to that,
but there you can go all the way from the particle board to the nice, heavy, but still that stuff's made in a factory.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's not, even the nice, heavy wood actual stuff, that's not made by hand.
Yeah, but the stuff that is made by hand, if you've got a following, if you've got people talking about your product, you get together with the web designer guy that's your friend that makes you a badass website, and all of a sudden celebrities are buying your shit.
Oh, yeah.
You can make a crap ton of money
Sure.
doing that just by doing something that you absolutely love. You
Yeah,
know?
because it's, you're not saying, hey, I made this chest of drawers at $50. Like, no, it's
Right.
gonna be a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why the majority of people do shop at IKEA, because our homes are bigger, so we got to fill it with stuff,
Right.
and you can't afford that, or not everybody can. So it's like, well, it's good enough. It's
Right.
IKEA.
So
You're
here's
not
what you do.
passing it on to your kids.
Business idea. You get someone that's good at building furniture, right?
Yes.
That's really, really good at building furniture.
Okay.
You get another guy that's good at turning houses. You get those two together. You go buy old celebrity homes in Hollywood. You rip them down, rebuild them, use all the wood from that famous person's house, make a bunch of reclaimed wood from Charlie Chaplin's home, and sell it to celebrities.
I like it. Let's
This-
make it happen.
This furniture is made from James Stewart's old home.
We call it dibs.
Uh-huh.
That is true.
But that's some shit that someone
And
would
think
do.
about the episode of Ghost Hunters they could do off of that.
Right. The haunted chest of
Yes,
Bette Midler, who's not dead yet, but
No,
I'm
she's-
sure will haunt something when she dies.
she could.
Yeah.
She very much could. But yeah, it's like, somebody gets there, ooh, all of a sudden I heard Jimmy Stewart doing the whole,
Right. Oh,
his soliloquy
right,
from It's a
Harvey.
Wonderful Life.
yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. See?
I wish,
See how the brain works.
and it's funny because my folks, I've still got my dad's chest of drawers and dresser that he and my mom had in their bedroom. And it's very dated.
I bet you the thing weighs a ton.
It weighs a ton.
Yep.
And it's solid. And those drawers move in and out like nobody's business.
Every time.
Yeah. It's solid. And again, it probably needs a new stain on it or something. And at the time, they paid a lot of money for it.
Right.
But, it's over 50 years old.
Yep.
It's probably closer to 70 years old.
I think that's become part of American culture, is that we don't buy stuff that lasts anymore. We pretty much
Because you
mostly
have to save for it.
mostly manufacture things that are replaceable within a couple of years.
Sure. It's a
And that's-
disposable society.
Yeah, that's technology, that's furniture, that's everything.
Well, you and I were sitting here talking about my phone. Does it have the deep focus or whatever? No, it's like, well, that's on the tin. Well, I'm due for an upgrade. Yet at the same time, there's nothing wrong with this damn phone, but I'm like, oh, the other one's got another feature on it.
Right.
I don't need another phone.
Yep.
And yet that's what everybody does is like, oh, I've got to upgrade to the newest, latest model. So what happens to the rest of it? And that's another, and maybe we can talk about that at some point. They're talking about just the technology waste
Right.
that fills up landfills and whatnot, because you've got computer monitors. Everybody had a computer monitor, these huge, bulky computer monitors. Now they're all these sleek flat screens. So what happened to them?
Right.
What about the old TVs that were still perfectly good, great picture, but it wasn't a flat screen?
Right.
Now it ends up in a landfill because we didn't like that one anymore.
Well, that's a good idea for a future podcast, because I do have a problem with recycling. So that's something we can talk about at a later date.
Only spot. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, there is a TV monitor,
You got
too.
two. You got a TV monitor. You got a computer monitor. You got a microwave. I've got probably 3 or 4 receivers in the house that don't work,
There's
plus
a
a Laserdisc player.
There's a CPU back there, too.
There is a CPU back there.
Yeah.
But the whole G-cycling and recycling thing is such a scam. But we'll get into that at a later
Oh,
date.
yeah, no, it's Like the thing at Walmart, drop your phone in, we'll give you money for it. It's like, so you drop in your old phone, they give you $20. Like, come on.
Right.
You can probably sell it on eBay for more.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that would be. You could probably make quite a bit of money if you just went through
my garage, and sold some stuff.
You could. There's some nice stuff out here, though, man.
I'd probably sell some stuff I shouldn't sell and get more for that, too.
Is that a Jurassic Park Monopoly set?
Yes, it is.
That's pretty cool. Got some Marvel stuff. I don't know. I'll look around. I'll make you an offer. See what you got.
Right.
But yeah, no, that would be something worth talking about. And there's probably somebody out there who's like, hey, this is a need. I could fulfill this need, and they go and make a business off of it.
Exactly.
Even the guys on Shark Tank, some of it's stupid, but people start businesses off of it.
Yep. You got those things that you get in the mail every time. I'm sure you get them once a month that say, we're going to be coming by, picking up stuff off the street.
Right.
We'll leave it on the street corner. We'll get it for you. You think those are really sponsored by the city, or you think that's someone's personal business that's basically
personal
picking
business,
up the stuff
and then they go and then they refurbish it
and sell it,
and they resell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what was their overhead? Zero.
Gas.
Yeah, gas to put in their truck and labor. And if it's their own company, they're them and their brother. They put it in there. So, they're out the gas. They're out $2.
Yep.
And now they turn around, resell it for $200.
Infinite number of ideas and ways to make money out there, and you and I are sitting here doing a podcast in a garage
for free. Yeah, that's all right. But we love doing this. That's the thing.
I do. We do.
And that's the crazy part is when you're like, oh hell, I'd do that for free. We actually are, but we would love for this to be a career.
Oh yeah, totally.
We really would.
Would love it.
So
that'd be awesome.
If you know anybody famous, have them listen to the podcast.
Right.
And then, maybe they give us a job or something because God knows there are a lot of podcasts that are, where they're sponsored and they make some cash off of them.
Yep. You start
We're
putting
just
in
not
for
one
some
of them
grants.
At some point. Man, wouldn't that be the thing? You just need somebody in there who's just, can be like, I'll give money to anybody. I'll here's money for podcasts. And then we submit for a grant for that.
Ross Perot.
Oh, man. He wasn't giving you anything. You had to work for it. You had to earn what you got with Ross. Can I finish?
Right.
Out of the two business presidents that out of him and the other one who got elected, I'm gonna say I probably would have preferred Ross Perot. Yeah, just a little bit more of a business mind. So, kids, are you riddled with college debt? Do you have any thoughts or ideas on this? What are your opinions on college? You can write and let us know in one of several locations, which Brandon's going to tell you about.
Well, you can go to tweet us on the Twitter sphere at Love to Hate Pod. You can also
pulled
go
that off,
on
by the way. I
Instagram.
thought you were going to totally blow that.
I know. You can also go to, because I did last time. Yeah. You can also go to Instagram at Love to Hate Pod as well and comment there. And we'll be doing posts regularly on there just to let you know what's coming up next. And you can also check us out on Facebook, like us on Facebook, and comment there as well. And we're also available for you to listen to us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podcast Land, Podomatic. We're all over the place. iTunes. You can hear us anywhere good podcasts are heard, plus Joe Rogan.
There you go. Hey, if you live local, let us know. Maybe you can be part of our live studio audience.
Joe Rogan's good podcast. I just wanted to do hashtag Joe Rogan.
There you
That's
go.
going to go on the episode.
That works. Well, Mark Maron guy. Thanks for joining us, kids. We'll talk to you next week.